Oh, it's gonna mess up my hair. Uh, so different kinds of poof poof, but still poof poof. So if you don't like poof poof, sorry. I've decided not to mess with my hair too much anymore. Bonjour, good morning, desde Panama. It's a beautiful day. Let's see, I need to start doing some herb oil. But before I do that, I have some chicken that I need to put in the oven. We are making, good morning KJ, Denise, hola mi amiga. Okay, as you know, I really need to go wash my hands, hang on. I was touching my hair a minute ago, and you know what I say about the kitchen? This is where you can get sick if you don't have good habits. And you know I'm a nurse, so washing my hands come naturally to me. So I love to wash my hands. But anyway, I found this little hand soap. You know how we have really lots of choices, but it's called basilicum hand soap. And I haven't looked to see what basilicum means, some kind of Latin name, but it is so good. I love it. I don't remember where I got it. I need to get one for my bedroom. Okay, so this is bowl month. Good morning, Greta. Hola, mi amiga. You're preparing to head to kitchen as well. Good for you. But my daughter's gone, so no pressure to cook. You know this girl, I bought 3 pounds of chicken wings. And then on the last day she was here, I cooked them. Remember I made them here, and I made that sauce for the chicken wings with a little bit of butter, olive oil, fresh garlic. I had some maple syrup, or you could use honey, dark soy sauce, vinegar, and Dijon mustard. And then you just mix it all, let it get a little bit, not too thick, a little bit of the thick side, and then you toss those wings in it. Listen, you don't need anything fancy. I don't like white sauces, so I would never do like a ranch. I'm just not a ranch person. I don't like any kind of fettuccine Alfredo or anything like that. I know, I'm weird like that. But listen, that girl destroyed those wings. I came back, I cut them. So you had the drumstick and then the other, whatever. I'm like, sis, you really went after those wings? She said, I needed some protein. Sometimes I'm like, I don't think I could live with my kids. But after she left, I miss her. It was nice having her. She's really chill, and I'm chill too. Because if somebody is like hyper, it's like, slow down. I can't do it. I can't deal with that. And I don't like to be in my room. I like to be out. So anyway, so today we're making the bowl. I said I was going to make good morning, everybody. I was going to make a taco bowl. And of course, I'm thinking of, remember tacos in the US where you had the shell? Well, first of all, that's not healthy because that thing was fried in hot oil. And we're not frying anything here. We're still trying to be on the healthy side. So I said I could make it, and I was going to make my veggie balls as, some way, the protein. And, but then when I cooked here for my daughter this past week, not for my daughter, I think I made some soup for someone. And then I had some chicken breast left over that was already marinated. And I'm like, why don't I use that instead? Because usually when I'm cooking for me, I'll just look around in the kitchen and see what do I have. And then that's how I come up with something, whether it's a soup, whether it's a curry or something. So I decided I have the oven on. We're going to use that chicken. And with the chicken, we're going to make our veggie, we're going to make our bowl. So I thought I would do, what is it? Cilantro rice. We're going to do cilantro rice. We're going to do it as a base for the bowl. And I cooked some black beans I didn't do a lot. Let me tell you, these little black beans here are like rocks. So I soaked them for a few hours. Oh, Jimmy, go ahead and get yourself a life. You just have nothing else to do. Rwanda. I've been to Rwanda. I love Rwanda. Oh, and we have a sister here from Rwanda. Love it. Love that country. Oh my God, I went on a safari in Rwanda, and we drove. I don't know if we went to Musanze, but we drove through the mountains. Oh my God, this is such a gorgeous country. The whole continent is beautiful. South Africa was awesome too. Listen, if you get a chance to travel, travel, people, because even here, even in America, America has some beautiful spots. I've been to some. I have plans to go to a lot more, but now it's like, I'm rethinking that. But anyway, so I went through Panama to the different places. Gorgeous. Nature, God's creation is just amazing. So, we're going to do the cilantro rice at the base. Then we're going to put our black beans. And we're going to cook our chicken. And we're going to, I don't know if I want to dice the chicken or shred it. Probably shred it. We're going to do the chicken. I don't want to touch it. Where are my tongs? And I'm going to be making pico de gallo. We're going to put some pico de gallo because we need color, right? But guess what? I forgot to get corn. How can you have, well, for the taco bowl, I really didn't need corn. But when I realized I forgot the chips, I said, okay, so maybe it's going to be a Southwest bowl. Well, I got no corn. I forgot to get the corn. And you know, I take the corn and I cut them off the stalk, and then I toss them in the herb oil. The best. So try that, okay? If you want to mix corn with, like you want to do a bowl, you want to do a salad, just do that. Take the corn, take your knife and cut it down, right? Get them off the stalk, and then mix them with the herb oil. Mwah, delicioso. So I don't have any corn. It's not gonna be Southwest. Ooh, I have a drumstick. Oh, 2 drumsticks. Wow, okay. So I'm gonna be eating some chicken. And so we're gonna make pico de gallo. And again, yesterday I said, okay, I need an avocado. So the avocado, they didn't have any avocado at the store. This is the thing with Panama, Sometimes they have something, sometimes they don't. You've heard me say that before. And you just go, okay, I'll go to the next place. Don't sweat it. And so I went to Cinco de Mayo, which is kind of a little happy people, lots of people there. So that's going to take about 30 minutes, not long. And I could not find an avocado. So I'm like, para hoy? Because if I ask them if the avocado is for today, it's going to be a little bit soft and it would be good for today. They say, oh, nope, every vendor I went to didn't have it. So I went to this girl that I saw, she had some avocados that aren't looking that good because the avocado season is winding down. I'm so sad because the avocado here is absolutely beautiful. So I bought one from her. It doesn't look that good. So I'm going to be surprised when I cut it. All right? So it could be, I'm not going to be able to have slices, but I might be able to do like a little bit of somewhat of a guacamole to put on top. I do have some queso blanco, white cheese, so I can shred on top. I use my grater, and I also have some sour cream. I forgot to get nachos, or what do they call them? Tortillas. So, I was thinking while I was asleep, well, when I woke up, I'm like, I don't have any tortilla chips, but I was able to find these little pita pockets. Remember, I kept telling you about the pita pockets? When we make veggie balls next time, I'm going to show you how I make pita pockets. Now, this is whole wheat. We call that entero here in Panama. Anything that is not white, if you're talking about whole grain bread, it's called entero. All right? That means whole. So what you do, you just cut it, and then very gently you open the pockets, and then you can fill them with whatever you want. You know, I put quinoa, my veggie balls, and then you're gonna have to have some kind of a sauce. People have been making avocado dressing. You know, I just don't like avocado that way. Just like I don't like bananas mushed into anything. That's just me. But you can fill those pita with like chicken, a salad. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna show you, we're gonna make some pita wedges that we're gonna put in the oven. And then some of them I'm gonna cut small so I can make it look like I have tortilla chips. All right, so right now we're gonna make our herb oil first, then the pico de gallo, the rice, or maybe I should cook the rice first. Let's wait a minute for the rice. You know, I'm always thinking of timing because we don't want one thing to be done before the other. So right now, let's make the herb oil. Herb oil, listen, that herb oil, my creation from Portugal. Oh my goodness. You know, I haven't been there yet. Krishan, I lived through Krishan and Rick and Alicia, and now Mary Golf. I lived through you guys. I think I would love the food because, you know, like I want to go back to Peru. Oh, gee, the food was amazing in Peru, but I hear it's good in Portugal too. Could you help me with the recipe? Thank you. Well, if you tell me what it is, and if I know, I will, of course. I just seen that. Wasn't going to troll, but what? All right, Uncle. Whatever you're saying, I hope you are gonna behave. All right, this is what I have left of my herb oil. I still have some of that. You know, I put this on eggs, on salad, everything. Okay, so I bought some olive oil that had some garlic, and in my mind, you can't ever have too much garlic. But, you know, I'm reading these people saying, hey, you need to soak garlic overnight and drink the water. I guess I could if I hold my nose. I don't eat raw garlic. No raw onion. My mother, I remember when I was growing up, there was something they used to want to give you raw onions. I'm not doing it. So what kind of recipe are you talking about, Gil? Gil? Chino. Oh. Well, you know, we have a lot of Chinese here in Panama. You know, I used to love to eat Chinese fried rice, but now that I'm older and that I'm almost allergic to carb, that's just too much. And plus, they use too much soy sauce. Soy sauce and I don't go well together. So, I'm using it sparingly. All right, so this is the oil. We're going to put our salt and pepper. Sea salt. I watched this doctor yesterday talk about salt. How salt has gotten a bad name. You know, like, oh, and it started with the DASH diet. Dietary something to fight hypertension. It's not the salt that causes your blood pressure to go up. It's inactivity, not drinking enough water, stress, not sleeping enough, and eating all that stupid prepackaged food. That's what gives you high blood pressure, okay? For the people who are like, no salt, no fat, no oil, no this, no that, you're hurting yourself. The way the Lord created you with nature, you eat everything that He has created for you in moderation. The problem with us, we don't understand what moderation is. We do everything in excess. And that's why we get sick, because we eat everything. Oh, I love cauliflower. But why do we have to call it fried rice? That's what I want to know. Why do we have to call it fried rice? Rice. I make a really good curry cauliflower rice with green peas. It's really awesome. So, I mean, we can eat whatever we want. Cumin. I like to put a little cumin in my thing now. I'm going to cumin. Let's see. There is sage. Why not? The only thing I don't put in here is adobo. And I don't put paprika either. Parsley, yes. Dry parsley. So you want to use dry herbs for your herb oil, okay? The only fresh I use fresh garlic, and I use fresh rosemary. So we call parsley perejil. So I was telling the ladies of basil, dry basil. Yeah, I don't want to put fresh basil. I have a lot of fresh basil. Sometimes I go and I see herbs, I go crazy and I buy, and I'm like, what am I going to use them for? So I have a lot of basil here. So I need to make some marinara, because you can't ever have too much marinara. I told you, I have these little things. I know. Chow mein here, that's like 77 cents. When I'm hungry, I take 2 of these, 5 minutes. Boil a little water, toss it in, put a little herb oil in it, I'm good to go. But I know it's carbs, so I have to be careful. I just, in moderation. So, my daughter was here. She just left Thursday. And of course, she loves the food. So we went to one of our favorite places called Mercado de Mariscos. Hola, Keith. That means fish market. So we went there and we had what we call the red snapper. They call it Pargo here, P-A-R-G-O. But the most abundant fish here is corvina, which is sea bass. So she prefers red snapper, of course, like a true Caribbean, because it seems. So this is Cilantro, dry. Like a true Caribbean, she loves Pargo, red snapper. So we had that. This is called fine herbs, so it's a mixture of different dry herbs. I like to put that in here. Okay. I got all my dry spices in this little container. Cloves, ooh, I have a healthy few of cloves. You know what I use cloves for? I boil it with my rosemary and my bay leaves and make oil for my scalp and my hair. And then I use it, I put it in a little jar. So I put it on my scalp before I wash my hair. And then I put a little bit in my spray bottle. So when I need to spray my hair, I just put it. It makes my hair look so good. And my scalp feels amazing. I started using pimienta, which is allspice, in this herb oil. And it is amazing. You know, Jamaicans swear by allspice. I'm not Jamaican, but I'm learning to love allspice. So what I do with it, because it's a little bit coarse, right? So I just crush it. But if I had a spice grinder, I would put it in there. So if you come into Panama, bring your spice grinder. I think I've seen it here. You can get it here. You know, the things that are cheap here, I find, is if you want like the the contraption that slices the kind of vegetable, they have that here. I think I bought one for like $5. Because there's a lot of Chinese here. Temu is here. I have yet to buy anything from Temu. Can you believe that? I'm not a shopper like that. And because we have so many Chinese here, so it's it goes without saying that we're gonna do that. So this is allspice that I am chopping fine. Ooh. Not cloves. I watched someone make a piece the other day and they had cloves in there. I'm like, whoo, I'm scared. You know, I am going to invest in a spice grinder. I love that. And I use it for coffee as well. So I'd have to get two because you don't want the smell. Coffee. White pepper, no. This is red chili flakes. What I was looking for was dried thyme. So this is dried thyme. I'm gonna put some in there. Okay. Ooh. Okay. Oh, and we need oregano. Oregano is used a lot here because remember that we have a strong Spanish influence here in Panama. So oregano seed. Oregano is oregano. Peppers is pimiento. Thyme is tomillo. Parsley is perejil. Cilantro is culantro. So you kind of learn the names of things as you go. And I'm a cook, so I have to go when I go to the market or whatever to ask for what I want. Oh, I want to ask if somebody is a Panamanian is on the live today. I went to Cinco de Mayo yesterday and I saw these fruits. Every time you see them in a bag, it's like $1. And I was like, ¿Qué tipo de fruta? What kind of fruit is it? He told me a name, I don't remember. But I said, muy bueno dulce, is it sweet? He said, yes. So if anybody can tell me what these are, because I don't know, they look like beets, but I know they're not beets. But you know, I bought it. I don't know what it is. I have to get acclimated. I have to find out what it is. So if anybody knows what it is, please let me know. All right. So now we have all our dry herbs. What we need to add to this is our garlic and our rosemary. Now for the garlic, I don't need to go crazy, but I want to be sure that I have some fresh garlic in there. All right. Ooh, that's a big one. It's a big daddy. So how's everybody doing? Do you have any specific questions about Panama? Panama is just amazing, seriously. And I think that's why so many people, oh, I forgot to tell you guys, I don't know if you saw, I just released my first ebook for Panama. You know, I have a couple of other ebooks, but this one is Relocation, the Ultimate Relocation Guide. What it is if you are thinking of Panama as a retirement spot, because you know, single women retiring abroad, that's who we are. Old, vintage, sassy, right? Of course. I don't know it all. I know what I know. I know what I don't know. And you guys are here with me, so I need to get you engaged, right? So I finally been working on it. You know, I'm teaching 4 Spanish classes. I have the group that that I'm doing things for. We try to schedule a monthly educational program for the sisters. And then I'm doing the exercise program Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I stay busy. But at the same time, I understand the importance of rest. So I don't want to go and crash. No, ma'am. Some days I'm like, nope, this is a veggie day. I'm in my pajamas and I don't go out. I don't do a thing. You need to learn to do that too. That's healthy, okay? Go doesn't get us anywhere. But stressed out, fat, depressed, no bueno. Okay? So, you know I love garlic, but if you don't love garlic that much, you don't need to put that. That's a lot of garlic. I guess in an oil like that, I can have a little raw garlic because I don't cook this. But you know what you can do with garlic also? You can roast it with some rosemary, a little salt and pepper, and then you put it, you know, like you take a big old, don't buy them already peeled. Just buy raw garlic and then peel it, okay? Because it doesn't taste the same. And then you can just roast it in the oven when they're really nice and soft. You mash them and you have like a paste, and you can use that on toast. You can use them on pita chips. Healthy, better than butter, of course, but you know, I'm a butter person. But I don't go crazy with butter. I just use a little bit. Don't use margarine. Margarine is one molecule away from plastic. Don't use that. It's not real food. You know, we talk about don't use processed food. We are good at eating fake food, right? And then what they do, the people who want to make the money off of us, they add all sorts of additive. Just read the labels to make, and you know, even the label, I'm like, do I really trust what I'm reading? Are they really telling the truth? I don't think so. I don't think so. That's why when I cook, I know what goes in my food. That's what you're not going to find me at restaurants a lot. Now this place I told you I took my daughter to, it's a fried red snapper with some plantains. That's all I have. And many times they'll say ensalada. Salad is not really a salad. Oh my God. So they brought the fish to my daughter, and it had, and usually when they say ensalada here, it's like a little coleslaw. And then you still have to be careful because coleslaw has mayonnaise. And mayonnaise, you know, it's egg yolk and oil, because we used to make them in culinary school. If you don't keep mayonnaise at the right temperature, you can get sick. So I told her, I said, don't eat that. So we did not partake. But once in a while, you go somewhere and they'll have tomatoes and a bit of cucumber. So I'm mixing, okay? Woo. I love my herb oil. So if you have olive oil, go for it. Go for it. So here, this is gold. Now, you know I'm Haitian, so we do a piece. I haven't made a piece because I don't cook that much. After I cook for you guys, I have some sardines, and I have, I love, what is it? Calabaza squash. Again, I would toss some in my herb oil and roast them. Excellent, excellent. Whew. My chicken, so let's just taste. It needs a little bit more salt. Don't be shy. Remember, and I was telling you about salt, that we give salt a bad name. That's because you're eating all the potato chips and all the stuff that is preserved, pre-packaged. The reason it tastes good is because they had to put all the stuff and sugar and salt to make it taste good. Okay, we got it. Oh, the other thing it's missing is rosemary. I knew something was missing. Fresh rosemary. Romero from Cerro Punta. Cerro Punta is a place, I've been there. OMG. Beautiful. The mountain. We have a dormant volcano, Volcan Baru, and the mountain, and in the mist, and they grow a lot of stuff in Cerro Punta because the temperature is so perfect. They grow coffee. They grow a lot of our vegetables. They call that area the bread basket of Panama. That's where a lot of farms are. So the first time I went to Cerro Punta, I was like, oh my goodness. Oh, I was in ooh and ahhing, and I'm like, I'm gonna move here. I'm gonna move here. I think I told that story before. But then when I went back home, when I came home and I said, gonna be there in the mountain. Brush your teeth with olive oil, remove plaque. Oh, very good. And they say if you drink olive oil before you go to bed, it's good for you. I mean, there's just so much. Again, guys, everything you need is in nature. So when they say garlic is good for you, I'm like, I eat garlic every day. I love garlic. How's everyone doing today? I'm late because I was watching tennis. Oh, it's okay, Amy. It's okay. I know the tennis world is just buzzing these days. I saw this young person from Canada. Did she beat up Naomi? Oh my goodness. That's what happens, you know, when you start getting older, is to make room for the young ones. And these athletes never know when to quit. It's like, leave it for somebody else. Well, I'm very good at that. I'm like, okay, you go, girl. Garlic fights cancer. Now they say soursop leaves fight cancer. I don't know. I know I love soursop. All right, I'm ready. Gold. All right, now let's get ready for, I think I'm going to get the rice going. Okay, we're going to make our pico de gallo, but before we do that, let's get the rice going. The rice won't take long, and the pico de gallo won't take long. The peas have been cooked. I'm just warming them up on top of the stove. And let's move for the pico de gallo. So for the rice, I have some veggie broth. Oh, okay. Yeah. When, you know, I talk a lot about veggie broth. Whenever you have any kind of veggies that are looking a little puny, just boil them. Yes, yes. Isn't that amazing? Boy, she looks strong too. There's so much talent. I'm just so encouraged when I see young people doing well. Seriously. You know, my daughter, she was supposed to go to med school. I know she's watching. She chickened out when she got to chemistry, organic chem, and I said, Raphael, you don't need to make an A. You just need to pass the class. Well, you know, kids. And you know, I'm that kind of mother. You don't want to do it, hands off. Because then when the regret comes, it's on you, not me. But she became a therapist instead. And I'm like, you know what? I can't. She became a physical therapist. So I'm like, you know, and you know, she had to, because for physical therapy, you need to have a doctorate. So I'm like, you go through all these years to work, you could have had your medical license, but anyway. Because she was really good with listening to other people, to her peers. And I thought she would make a great psychiatrist, right? Because I'm a psychiatric nurse practitioner. I kind of stumbled on that one because I don't think it's something that I planned. But I'm good at psychiatry too because I can read people. And if you are having a, you know, a bad time, I don't mind, you know, listening to you and giving you some insight. And then it's up to you. Everybody needs to make decisions for themselves, right? So Raphael decided not to continue. She had a straight path to med school. She decided not to continue, and she went into physical therapy. And then, you know, things happened. She wasn't happy with that. I'm like, you know what, sis? It's your decision. You made those decisions yourself. So now you're an adult. It's up to you. Alright, are you guys seeing this? We're cooking. We're gonna cook our cilantro rice. I'm gonna cook the rice and then chop the cilantro at the end and then just add it. Right? I also cooked some chickpeas. Oh, I made hummus the other day. Did you see that? Ooh, it came out so good. I was so proud of myself. That was my first time making hummus. My only hiccup was my blender. I don't like the way it blends. I don't think it blends smooth enough. And Amy said, you need to try NutriBullet. So one of these days when I have the money, I will. Because I got to listen to you guys. You give me tips. Now remember, whenever I'm cooking, I start with onions and garlic. Always. Always, always, always. A little bit of oil, we don't need a lot. But this dish is very thin, so I have to kind of watch it. Because things will burn easily if I'm not paying attention, okay? Alrighty. I'm gonna get the rice because I want to toast the rice. You know, that's how I told you that I do. I try not to have too much rice in the house because I don't want to have it so I can eat it. Hummus, I mean, it was so nice. And I cut some carrots and celery and you just scoop it. And you know what I did? Then you put a little bit of olive oil. Then I put a bit of my herb oil. And then I sprinkle red pepper flakes. Play with your food. Play with your food. All right. So, putting the garlic. So, I'm going to have to wash this rice. But while I'm doing that, I'm taking it off the heat because I don't want my garlic to burn. If it does, it's going to change the taste of my dish. Another thing, this is just me here. I do not want a lot of rice, okay? If my daughter's not here and I'm not going to make a bunch for me to eat, just enough to plate. I think that's enough. All right. I have so many beans in here. Lots of beans. Frijoles. That's what they call them. Oh my goodness. That's really not a lot of so we want garlic and onions. You don't want them to burn. Okay. And I remember to this day when the chefs were talking, they were like, as soon as you smell the garlic, as soon as it's fragrant, you need to use it, right? Because otherwise it will burn. And burnt garlic, there's nothing you can do to redeem that. Turn it. You know, usually when you're cooking, you always want to turn your pan around. It's a good practice to get into. Alright? So everything you're cooking cooks evenly. A little bit of rice. If I had a smaller pan, I would. What am I saving? Oh, my beans are in my small pan. And I don't want to collect pans. Because if I do, then it's like, when I have to move, I got a bunch of things. I don't want that. I remember when I was moving, coming to Panama. Oh my goodness. The pots and the plates that I had, it was just insane. It's too much. Okay? So you want to toast your rice. Listen. When you go to culinary school, the thing you learn the most is technique. And that's what you really, that stays with you. So I'm putting a little bit of adobo, even though just salt and pepper would be enough. I'm tempted to put a little curry in this rice. Why not? Right? Yeah, that hummus was something else. I was like, wow, it came out really good. I'm just putting a little bit of, you know, why not, a little curry powder that they have here. Not too much. And I love turmeric, and you know, turmeric is good for you. So you can feel free. Where are you? Turmeric. This is how it's trying to stick to the bottom already. So I have to keep an eye on this thing. Where's the turmeric? Oh, there it is. Curcuma. Curcuma is turmeric. Curcuma. It's like when you say, I'm looking for smoked paprika. Paprika is paprika. But amojado is how you say, because humo is smoke. All right. Let's say a little bit of salt, not too much, because we don't need a lot of salt. And then we're going to put our veggie broth in here. And then once the rice is cooked, I'm going to chop the cilantro and put it in. Now see, even watching it, I had a couple of dark pieces. So now rice is probably the only dish that I don't put acid in, okay? Perfecto. It's mild, and that's what I want. Okay, so we're gonna keep an eye on this as it's cooking. I gotta watch my my heat. Now we're going to chop the tomatoes. I'm gonna wash them. You know, I scrub my veggies when I wash them. I use the sponge. And something you could do also when you bring your vegetables home, just soak them in the sink and put some baking soda and vinegar, and then wash them. Then, you know, you feel a little bit more comfortable that you've taken away some of that grime, because you know they will spray your food, even here. So don't think that because you're in Panama, everything is organic. And I remember I did a tour of an organic farm in New York, in the US. And then this guy was explaining to me, he said, organic doesn't mean we don't use pesticide. I'm like, oh, okay, thanks for telling me. And you all just get so organic this, organic that. Okay. Marketing. These people are so good at taking your money. Alright, I need some green peppers. I was in Cinco de Mayo yesterday, and I didn't want to buy bell pepper, but they have these that look like poblano peppers. Poblano peppers, they're really good too. I'm going to use these in my pico de gallo. And then I have a jalapeno, and then we need a red onion, and then acid. That's it. So pico de gallo, where is the red onion? ¿Dónde estás? I know I bought it. Oh, okay. You know, I think the chicken should be good. Another thing you don't want to do is to overcook your chicken. You know, one of the biggest things that we had to do in school was check meat temperatures. Why do you think people eat rare beef and they don't get sick. But if you eat uncooked chicken, you get sick, right? So you don't get sick by eating meat. I don't do it. I can't do bloody meat. I don't do that, and I don't eat beef anyway. So, but I do eat some oxtail when I. That's the only beef I eat. Now pork, I haven't had that in years. Listen, I'm Haitian. We do griot. Griot is fried pork. And here is chicharron. Chicharron. OMG. We eat chicharron here. You know, with the skin, the fat, and the meat. And then they cut it through. And they call it pork belly. And then they boil it with all the spices. And then they fry it. And then they give you a piece like this. And in the Peruvian store, they make a guacamole and you use it and you scoop the guacamole with the big old piece of... Oh my goodness, I'm like, woo! And I read, they said, the chicharron is healthier than some other thing. I don't know. I'm like, that's just a little too much for my tummy. My stomach would not tolerate that much meat. Did you know that it takes your body a lot more enzyme and energy to digest meat, right? So when you eat a steak, your body is going to have to work a lot harder to break down all those proteins. And by the time it passes through, when it comes out, it doesn't smell good. If you eat right, when you go to the bathroom, you're not going to smell anything. Okay? So it pays for you to take care of what you're putting inside your body. All right, I think I want them to be this size. All right, so my rice is good. So I'm going to cover it and turn the heat to 3 and let it cook. I'm going to turn off the oven for my chicken. Oh, I want to make some pita chips. So let's do the Pico and then do the chips. And then we're pretty much done. I mean, I'm amazed at how much I get out of one Roma tomato. Seriously. So I can make the pico de gallo and still use the rest with the pita chips. So I'm going to use both tomatoes. I love Roma tomatoes. Now I don't know if you've heard, if you have arthritis, they recommend that you don't eat too much tomato because there is a compound in the tomatoes that may aggravate your arthritis. Have you heard that? I don't have any arthritis, thank God. But I have a friend, I told her that. She said she tried it and she felt better. So, I don't know. You know I'm a skeptic when it comes to stuff like that. But, you know, if something works for you, it works for you. And the whole thing about the anti-inflammatory diet and whatever, we're supposed to eat that way anyway. That's nothing new. If you avoid sugar and prepackaged food, you are eating an anti-inflammatory diet. Olive oil, fruits, vegetables, grain, legumes. You good, sis. Relax. Don't go buy somebody's book telling you what to eat for an anti-inflammatory diet. You know what to do. Stop spending your money. That's why you're not going to find me in the store buying vegan this, vegan that, and I'm like, what's in there? I want to know what's in there. I cook my own food. Thank you very much. Make an herb oil and then go and eat your food when it's closest to the earth. It's the best form of the food that you want to eat, okay? You know, I talk about the 4 whites that you need to try to eliminate or at least control. White flour, white sugar, white bread, and then salt, of course. You need salt because your body needs salt. So don't eliminate salt. And I told you before, as an older person, your body is more sensitive to subtle changes. So when you're younger, there is an imbalance. Your body can kind of adjust, counteract. But when you're getting older, your resistance is lowered. So you're more likely to feel bad when there is subtle change. So your electrolytes, your salt, your water, your calcium, potassium, don't go on these crazy diets. You're going to mess yourself up. I don't know how else to say this. You need to be smart. And a 25-year-old body doesn't respond to disease as well as a 65-year-old body. That's just facts. Stop being in La La Land. Go into the gym for 8 hours thinking you're going to live forever. You're not. I don't know. I don't know what else to say. I think I'm in pretty good shape, but I don't go crazy about anything. I don't exercise crazy. I don't eat crazy. I took stock of what was happening with my body when I was so stressed out and I could not lose the weight. I could not lose my weight. I was unhealthy. And I go back and I look at my pictures and I'm like, oh my God, I was so swollen. You had inflammation, fluid retention, then you had menopause kicking in there. Seriously, we can really get ourselves into a heap of trouble by not paying attention. And I think, had I been paying attention, when I started to hit my 40s, I used to say, okay, Maggie, you need to be alert, 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 alert. Menopause is on the way, fixing to create havoc in your body. But no, like most of us, I was oblivious, just busy chasing this, chasing that. And by the time I realized it, I was like 40, 60 pounds overweight. No bueno. Ooh, that pepper looks good. For blanco peppers, I think I have a recipe for us to stuff it. You take the top off and then you stuff it with a mixture and then you put it in the oven. I think for one of the bowls, you know, I started thinking about all kinds of different bowls we could do. We could do a Mediterranean bowl. We could do, we don't have enough time though. Mediterranean bowl. We could do a Caribbean bowl. And I'm like, you already had oxtail last week. Wasn't that Caribbean? Well, not quite. But it's good. We could do a Greek bowl. And we could do a vegan bowl. I mean, you could do anything you want with a bowl, right? Because to me, it's not just a salad bowl. I mean, if I want a salad, I'll do a salad. But a bowl is just a mixture of different things that come together to create a happy marriage. I think that's enough pepper, maybe one, a little bit more. Because I love pepper too. Okay, why is this? Looks like it's burning. Okay, that's good. All right, make sure when you're cooking that rice that some people put like foil and then the top. You can do that. And even in school, the chefs, you know, they were not Caribbean by any means of the imagination. They would put the foil, put the cover like a cast iron, and then put it in the oven. You can do that too, but I didn't learn like that. I remember growing up, my mom was out a lot, and I was in the kitchen a lot. Maybe that's how I did not learn from my mom. We had a cook. We had cooks. And I guess I watched them because I used to hang out with them a lot. Maybe that's where my love of cooking started. But my mom worked a lot, but I remember when she was home, she would cook. Where is the red onion? Oh, there it is. I love red onions too. Si, me gusta. Onions we call cebollas. Cebolla rojo. Red onion. But we don't say cebolla amarillo. Amarillo means yellow. We just say cebollas. So when you say cebollas, you're assuming it's a yellow onion. But if you want red onion, you're going to say cebollas rojas. You don't want big chunks, so you got to make sure you cut it small. All right. Ooh-wee. Let's see, un poquito más, a little bit more. Onions. I love onion cooked. I don't like raw onions that much. But that's another thing they say, if you eat it raw, it's good for you. I think I started to say that. I believe my mother used to make us eat raw onions. She used to feed us liver and stuff like that. Maybe that's why now I don't eat liver. I'm like, nope, nope, no quiero. No liver. Okay, so now this is our pico de gallo. We're going to put a little bit of salt. Oh, jalapeno. I need a little bit of heat. And I'm also going to need some jalapeno for decoration. But in the meantime, I need a little bit of heat in the pico de gallo. Yeah, that's enough. And let's chop this to look like the peppers and the onion. Not too. Okay. So we had salt. And then here, this is where we are using limon. Limon, that's more abundant here than lemon. We do have lemon. Always roll your lime or lemon to loosen up the juice before you cut them up. And they don't have seeds here. I don't know why. Oh, and the cilantro. You have to have cilantro in pico de gallo. ¿Dónde estás? Cilantro. Oh yes, I had mint yesterday. I went crazy because that's why, you know, in my fridge, I'm always gonna have cilantro, rosemary, fresh thyme. But the cilantro here doesn't last a long time. So if you buy it, you better be sure you're gonna use it fast. 2-3 days max. And then they're gonna start going bad. Probably because they're not, you see, they're not, I don't know, hopefully they're not sprayed with too much. You can only hope. You can only hope. I remember going to Cerro Punta. You could take, they could take you on a hike up to the Volcan Baru. Oh my God, so beautiful. In that area also, they have some exotic birds, and I think I posted something about that, where you can go and bird watch. I'm not into bird watching. People in Bokeete and Volcan and other ladies, you know, they'll have the hummingbirds come. I remember I was doing a house sitting in Bokeete one time, and the hummingbirds came up, and they put the little water dish for them and they come and it's like so pretty. But that place, I was like, I'd be bored. I need more. I could not live there. All right. You know I have to rinse. I gotta rinse. So your pico de gallo, you can do it yourself. Put it in a jar and then use it as a topping. You know, I could do that. You can do that for eggs. Now I don't want it to be too fine, right? So now we go into taste. Pico de gallo. God is so good all the time. Yes, ma'am. Sometimes I see people put a little bit of oil. I don't think I need. Perfecto. Okay. Alright. So that's done. I put it in the fridge. And so now we are going to, I'm just going to chop some of the pita and just toss it and put it in the oven for a little bit. And then we're done. So, oh, the beans while you're cooking again. All right, let's yeah, I cannot work in a messy environment. No puedo, no puedo. All right. So when you're making your pita chips, I'm going to take the chicken out. Chicken is done. When you're making your pita chips, you just take the pita. I'm not going to do a whole lot because I don't want to have it to eat. And I want to show you, when you're trying to make the pockets, I'm going to need my other knife for this, like my serrated knife. Serrated knife, white knife with teeth. That's what you use for bread. All right? So you would just open it like this. And you have to be gentle because they'll fall apart if you're not. So when I make the veggie balls, I call them boats. And I would put the veggie ball in here. And you could put pico de gallo. You don't want to put something that got sauce. If it's wet, it's going to break your boat, right? So you put the vegetables, put the pico de gallo, a little bit of marinara on top, and you can also sprinkle a little bit of cheese. And then I remember at the cafe, I used to have what we call a salamander. Salamander is like, it's really hot on top, which is like a portable, what do you call that? I want to say grill. You know when you put your food in the oven and you put it on, not roast, what's the other word? But anyway, just to put the heat on top and melt the cheese. So you could use those as boats, right? And if you want to put like ham, cheese, eggs, oh, I put eggs in those. Yummy. All right? So now for my chips, I just cut it in half again, and in half again. So I'm going to get triangles, and you put them in there. Triangles. I'm going to do the other one. for the longest time, I couldn't find any. But yesterday, I only found one bag. So I'm assuming it's because it's a popular item. So for this one, because I'm trying to use some of this as the tortilla, I'm going to make strips and then use them as tortilla strips. It just came to me. Oh my goodness. I told you, that's the only place I'm creative, is in the kitchen. I don't know how to paint, I can't sing, I can't dance, can't do anything. So we're going to make tortilla strips with the pita chip, the pita bread, I guess. All right. And what we're going to do, we're going to take our herb oil and we're going to toss everything in with the herb oil. Isn't that great? That's why I took time to make the herb oil. We're good. Right there. Get you some herb oil and toss. And you do that with vegetables. I do that with cauliflower and Brussels sprouts. I don't do this with broccoli. As I said, I don't want the broccoli to be burnt. All right. Okay. So now let's shred the chicken. I think I should shred it, don't you? Yeah. Okay, let's see which dish we're gonna use. You know, I have a bunch of mismatched dishes. You know the drill, right? But we're gonna put our bowl in this little Chinese looking thing. I think this is gonna be perfect. And let's shred the chicken. I thought I had more chicken breast, but I had like chicken wings. So I'm gonna shred it. Yeah, these two should do it. If my daughter's watching, yep, 2 more chicken wings for me, Raphael. Now, the chicken was seasoned perfectly overnight, of course, with all the fresh things: garlic, onion, fresh herbs, acid, lime juice, and fresh ginger. That is a tip, and I've told you that before, for your poultry, your turkey, your chicken. Add fresh garlic. You'll thank me later. Very, very tasty. It balances very well. Alrighty. Woo-wee. Now you know what I'm left to do? So I think that's enough meat, chicken, for one person, right? For one bowl. So let's put this away. Now let's check out this avocado. I'm scared because I have a feeling it's gonna be bad when I cut into it. So we'll just have to make do, right? Whatever happens, happens. All right, I think I should turn this off. Our rice. Even then, it tries. This is our rice. Doesn't it look good? It's got some curry and turmeric. And that's what you can do with the cauliflower rice. Someone mentioned that. And then Blanch some green peas and throw it in there, and the green and the yellow, the contrast, perfecto. All right, let's see. You always want to taste your food. I remember the chef used to always say, when you pick your food for him, he's like, have you tasted it? I'm like, I know I have, I don't know about them. All right, let's see. Oh Lord, don't let it be too bad. Ooh, that doesn't feel right. Ooh, why is the skin so tight? Maybe I'll make a little guacamole. Yeah, I can make a bit of guacamole with this. I can work with this. Oh yes, I can work with this. It's not that great, right? Because as I said, avocado season is, ooh, I don't like that part, is kind of over. This thing has a huge pit and very little avocado. Ooh, wow. Okay, never again. All right, so I think just enough to mix something and put it on top of my bowl. Yeah, I can work with this. I can work with this. But you know, if it was good, it feels like it would be really nice and creamy. So, my bad. All right, okay. We can work with this. Now, when I make guac, I don't like to mash it really. I like to leave a little body to it. You know, I can do this here. I'm gonna squeeze a little lime because, you know, avocado, just like apples and potatoes, they will brown on you from oxidation. So you want to always hurry and put a little bit of acid. That's chemistry, y'all. All right. And I'm putting a little bit of oil, not a lot. And so it should have salt and pepper that I don't need to season. And then just maybe a little bit of cilantro. You see? Yeah, save the day, save the day. Aww. I feel like I'm in a laboratory. That's why I love cooking so much. When I'm cooking, I feel like I'm alive. So if I'm stressed out, so that's why, you know, I don't want to cook things that are bad for me, because if you stress out, oh, you're welcome. Estamos. Ooh-wee. Yes. So I think we're ready. I do have some sour cream, and I have to see when I plate where I'm going to put that sour cream, okay? Oh, guacamole is nice and pretty and beautiful. You want to keep that color. Make sure you put the acid on there, okay? Very important. All right. So let's plate this baby. We need another spoon for the beans. Let's see what I'm going to do with the beans. I need to season the beans a little bit. Okay. I have... Everything has to be seasoned, you guys. No bueno. All right. Gotta get rid of the liquid. So, you think I'm going to throw that away? No. I'm going to save that. Wow, it's not too hot for this. One time I I melted something plastic by putting too much, something really hot in it. Phew, just not thinking. Again, that chemistry mindset. So let me hurry and put this in the fridge so it doesn't melt. Alright. So, I have some sour cream and I have some queso fresco, molido. Molido means ground, molido. So when you go to the store and you want ground meat, you say carne molida. Because carne is a feminine word. In Spanish, I teach Spanish, we have masculine word and feminine word. En la carne. Así se dice, la carne. Okay. Oof. A little bit of herb oil. Herb oil in everything in my kitchen, okay? Everything. Alright, so the moment of truth. Let's look at this. Chips. Alright. So we're gonna get our plate. So I figured, ooh, you guys didn't remind me, which I forgot to put the cilantro in the rice. It's supposed to be cilantro rice. Oh my goodness. You didn't tell me. I forgot. El cilantro con el arroz. Yes. I love cilantro too. But here they call cilantro, they call cilantro, but oh well, who cares? I don't think anybody cares. All right, let's give it a quick rinse. If you don't do anything, remember to clean your hands and rinse and do everything you can to keep yourself safe. Because I'm a little bit biased about restaurants and stuff because I own a cafe and I know what could happen back there. But hand washing is probably the best thing that you can do. And then cleaning your board. Don't mix veggies with meat, right? That's how, especially chicken. Chicken is the one that's gonna kill you. Although, I remember years ago, there was a little boy who died from a McDonald's hamburger. You remember that? Can you imagine in a place like McDonald's that is so big? I don't eat at those places. How do you keep food safe? And I've told you before, the main reason people get sick is because two main reasons: cross-contamination and not keeping the food at the right temperature. So when you're carrying a load of ground beef in your truck, if the temperature in the truck is not kept at the right temperature, what's going to happen to you? You eat it, you get sick because that's when the bacteria starts growing in transit. Here, they have done some inspections in some of these fondas, and they find chicken sitting outside, and besides the rodent and the, oh my goodness. I'm telling you, when you go out and eat, I've said that before, you put your life in somebody else's hands, okay? So I season my black beans, and it needs a little salt. Ooh, definitely needs a little salt. I am not eating unsalted food. I don't use a lot, but I'm putting a little bit because my blood vessels need salt. Okay, where's my dish? All right. So, we are starting because you know I didn't want a lot of rice. Oh, look how pretty. Oh. Oh my God, that was perfect measuring. Wow. You guys see it? Do you see the rice? How pretty it looks? If you wanted to blanch some green peas, you could put in here too. You could. But that wouldn't be Mexican or Southwest or. And then we go for the beans next. Oh my goodness. Now I see people plate these where they do like a little, put it on the side. I did not want to do that. You can do that if you want, you know, like a pile here, a pile here, a pile there. You can do that. But I wanted mine to be like multi-layered instead. So I don't want to cover the rice. I want the beans to be like the next circle. See? Okay. Now we're putting the, let's see. I want to put the meat first because I want the pico de gallo to kind of soften the meat a little bit. Maybe I'll just play around with the meat. Oh yeah, yes, that looks pretty. Okay, pico de gallo next. I'm glad I even remember. Sometimes I'm doing something and I'm like, oh, I forgot to add this. Oh, I forgot to add that. But I'm not going to put all the pico de gallo because I want to leave a little bit for me. But we certainly can. Oh, play with your food, folks. Play with your food. And you know, when you're plating, height is always good. You see how those chefs do it on the, they have a little bit in the middle and then it goes all the way up. Now, I'm not that kind of chef, okay? Because I'm not going to be using edible flowers and all that. To me, that's just such a waste. Such a waste of time. Okay, I think that's enough. All right. I'm looking for my chips. So now, next thing I want to put is my made-up guacamole. Oh man, that looks so good. Ooh, wee. Play with your food. Play with your food. You know what? I got nothing to say about that avocado. It did its thing. Aww. Oh, it's so pretty. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Okay. Now, I do have some sour cream. Let me get those chips out. Oh yes, it's ready. Hot. All right, those are my strips that I'm going to use as tortillas, tortilla strips. When I made the tortilla soup, it was like you could use tortilla strips. So, now, wasn't that ingenious, you guys? Just to think of using the pita bread and make tortilla chips. Okay, now we are going to So I have chips left over. I don't have any guac. I can make more guac. I need to get another avocado. So we're going to shave a little bit of, look at this bowl. Look at it, you guys. Look. Listen. What was that place that used to make these bowls? Got nothing on me. Nothing on me. Oh. Way over there. Oh my goodness. Whew. Yeah. I don't have rodents in my house, so let's see. I'll open this. Aquí. See. Now here in Panama, queso blanco is something they make here. You know, some kind of company makes it here. So it's more affordable. This was probably like $3. But if you go to buy like, you know, any kind of cheese from the US, you're gonna pay. So let's, woo, yes, yes. Oh man, that is so pretty. We're good, we're good. Wow. And then a dollop of sour cream for the finish. Oh, listen. Don't mind me for being excited. Don't mind me. I love it when it all comes together. Again, if you're looking for Breakstone, you're gonna pay. This is a local brand, queso crema. I hope that's sour cream. Is that queso crema? Okay. Let's see. I don't think it's the same thing. Oh, that's cream cheese. That replaces cream cheese. Never mind. We're not putting this on here. It's good though. But, all right, so we're going to finish with some wedges. I was looking for like, yeah, these are smaller. They have some mega looking lime. We don't need the big ones. Oh my word, it came out so good. It looks amazing. Yes. That's still a bit too warm. All right. Wow. Seriously. Okay. We did it, fam. We did it. Here is our bowl. Now, I don't know if this is Southwest because there's no corn in here. Watching from Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. I think I found my new favorite channel. Aww. Thank you. Look at this, you guys. We decided to do bowls for the month of August. And then I just went and the thing started flowing through my head. Look at this. You have cauliflower rice at the bottom. You have seasoned black beans. You have chicken breasts cut up or shredded. Then you have pico de gallo. And then you had guacamole. And then we shaved some queso blanco on top, and I used the pita bread to make strips because I forgot to get the tortillas. But if you got tortillas, just scramble some of them. And look at that! Isn't that pretty? Play with your food. You know, I keep telling you that. Keep playing with your food because if it's pretty, people will eat it. You eat it. You eat with your eyes. The pita bread, yes. And I still have pico de gallo. I don't have any more guacamole, but you could make more guacamole. Now you see, Denise, Greta, are you sending the, what is it? The thing that comes and picks up your food? Yeah, you need to send one. Look at that. And it's an act of love. For me, cooking is like breathing life in my day. It's how I relax, is how I can be creative. Because in the kitchen, you can do whatever you want. No one can tell you you can't. You remove one ingredient, you put another one. So we can do Italian bowl. We can do a Mediterranean bowl. I'm not going to go into Asian bowl because I'm not big on Asian cooking. I have to say I'm not. Because I don't like to use soy sauce that much. It makes me swell up. And you ate your avocado. Avocado is great. It's the best, not the best. It's a great source of good fat. I mean, it's got some fat in it, but good fat. It's good for you, for your hair, your skin, And all of a sudden now on TikTok or YouTube or whatever, I keep getting those posts from somebody living in the campo, in the interior, on the farm. They have chickens and the eggs and all kinds of yummy, earthy, wholesome food. And I'm like, yes, I would love that. I would love to live there, except I'm scared of the bugs. I don't like crawlies and critters, so I probably wouldn't survive if I get there. I'm telling you. Oh, guys, thank you so much for hanging with me. Hour and a half. We usually do an hour and a half, but this is just amazing. So next week, you tell me if you want me to do a Mediterranean bowl, a Caribbean bowl, or an Italian bowl. And then I do want to do a breakfast bowl for you guys where I'm going to show you how to make granola. You can make your own granola, put it in a jar, have it with your milk if you're a milk drinker. I'm not. And you can layer it too and make a bowl out of it with fresh yogurt and fruit and nuts and good. So we can play with our food, guys. All right, I'm gonna let you go. Thank you so much for hanging with me. Yeah, breakfast bowl is gonna be nice. Okay? You have a good day. God loves you. I love you. Bye bye.